Near and dear to David's heart is Advocate.
What happens when push comes to shove? Why did Billy Brown go this far? Was there no other way to handle the matter? Did he have to take such measures? Many people warned us about Billy from Alaskan bush people. They saw beneath his charade and tried to make us see who Billy truly was. He tricked many viewers into believing a fake identity, but now his secret is out for all to see. What crime did he commit? And did the law catch up with him? For many fans of the show, Billy Brown was an idol. They believed he was a star and admired how he showed up for his family. They loved how much of a natural-born leader he was. But what they didn't know were the dark secrets he kept. Everything you believed about Billy was a lie. What you're about to learn will surprise you and make you question all the support you gave to the series. Everyone thought they lived in the cold and quiet wilderness, just like the show portrayed, but that wasn't the truth. Billy was intentional about keeping this secret hidden. But someone was always watching, someone desperate to uncover the truth. Billy didn't have a calm or happy childhood. He knew grief early on. While other kids lived normal lives, Billy faced challenges too heavy for a child. He once had a beautiful family and a glimpse of what life with parents felt like. That all changed when his parents flew into a dangerous thunderstorm in Texas. It was the family's private jet. His father tried to land it safely on the beach of Lake Travis, but it was too late. The crash happened in a flash, just 20 feet from shore. There were no survivors. Billy lost his parents and his sister in one moment. He was alone, and the grief was unbearable. But that was only the beginning. As a minor, Billy was manipulated into emancipating himself, unaware that it was a trick to strip him of his inheritance. With no family or guardian, he couldn't access his family's wealth. Instead, he was sent to a juvenile detention facility at just 16 years old. By the time he turned 18, he had nowhere to go. He walked the streets for years, depressed, numb, and disconnected from life. Everything in Texas reminded him of the past he couldn't escape, so he left, seeking a quiet life far from the pain. He found himself in Alaska, where he spent over 30 years embracing its harsh climate and building a new life. For a time, he lived the adventurous life the show later dramatized. But everything changed when Discovery Channel came knocking. After he became a television personality, Billy blurred the line between truth and fiction. Viewers believed he lived off the land and survived purely on wilderness skills. They thought he and his family were isolated and self-sufficient. But not everything shown was real. Much of it was scripted or exaggerated. Even Browntown, their supposed homestead, was just a set. After filming, the family returned to local hotels like Icy Strait Lodge in Hoona, Alaska. The only time they slept in Browntown was when the cameras were rolling. They didn't even own property in Alaska. Neighbors confirmed that when filming wrapped, the Browns vanished. Then came the legal trouble. In 2000, Billy falsely applied for Alaska's Permanent Fund dividend, which was only meant for residents who lived there for an entire year and were absent for no more than 180 days. Billy and his family were ineligible, but still received thousands of dollars over 2 years. Eventually, the state caught up with him. He was charged and ordered to repay over $6,000. He pled guilty. When Alaskan Bush People premiered in 2014, it captivated audiences for years, running for 14 seasons until 2022. But as time went on, cracks started to show. Many scenes were overly dramatic. For example, a wolf attack was entirely fabricated. The howling was staged, and neighbors confirmed there were never any such incidents. Another moment involved 2 gunshots that supposedly forced the family to relocate. But a reporter later discovered Billy never filed a police report. Instead, he told state troopers someone had fired fireworks at a camera-equipped helicopter. It was far from what viewers were led to believe. The biggest deception was that the Browns were isolated. In reality, over 2,500 people lived nearby. There were roads, nearby pizza places, and modern conveniences just minutes away. Billy and his family only lived the remote life on camera. Off-screen, they enjoyed modern comforts. His children had active Instagram accounts and were well acquainted with the digital world. Neighbors revealed the truth. Billy pretended a lot, and the family dynamics weren't as perfect as they seemed. There were deep rifts within the family. One of the most admired relationships, that of Noah Brown, eventually fell apart. Noah, known for his inventions and calm demeanor, had always stood out. He was Billy's youngest son, and fans loved him for his quiet wisdom and hands-on survival skills. He married his longtime love, Rain Alicia, and they had 2 sons. But tensions with his sisters, especially Birdie and Raindrop Brown, created deep conflicts. They never accepted Rain, possibly because she grew up in Oregon and was seen as an outsider. Noah tried to keep the peace, even naming Birdie his son's godmother, but it wasn't enough. The pressure led Noah and Rain to leave Alaska for Colorado. Noah later told fans that the move was due to the Palmer Mountain wildfire, not family drama. But soon after, he and Rain Alicia announced their separation. In a heartfelt video, they confirmed their decision to part ways, emphasizing they still cared for each other. Fans were heartbroken. Noah continued to co-parent and lived in a guest cabin near Rain and the kids, but he needed permission to visit them. Eventually, things escalated when Noah tried to file a restraining order against his sister Rain, alleging threats and visits with a weapon. The court rejected the request, citing lack of sufficient grounds. Still, the emotional damage was done. Noah's marriage didn't survive, and his relationship with his sisters remained strained. Raindrop Brown was no stranger to controversy. Known for her fiery personality, she was reported to have struggled with substance use and made repeated visits to rehab. Rumors swirled about her and her partner, Josiah Lawton, being involved in burglary and trespassing charges. Meanwhile, Matthew Brown, Billy's eldest son, battled addiction and accused his parents of introducing him to harmful substances. He left the show and exposed more truths about what really went on behind the scenes. The family's internal chaos raised serious questions about Billy's parenting and the true dynamics of the Brown household. And then came the devastating blow. In 2022, Billy Brown died from a heart attack after suffering a seizure. Emergency crews attempted CPR and called for an airlift, but it was too late. He passed away at 68, surrounded by family. The police ruled out any foul play. His death shook the family and fans. They released a statement calling Billy a loving father, grandfather, and husband who lived life on his own terms. After Billy's passing, things unraveled quickly. Discovery Channel hesitated to continue the show. Then came a lawsuit. Robert Mann, Billy's former business partner, filed legal claims over the family estate. The case drew scrutiny to Discovery's financial records. Producers didn't want the drama, so they canceled Alaskan Bush People. The family was left to face the lawsuit without the backing of the network. Whether the legal battle has been resolved remains unclear. What fans continue to wonder is if Alaskan Bush People will ever return to TV. Was Billy Brown truly a hero? Or did he pay the price for a carefully constructed illusion? In the months following Billy's death, the Brown family seemed to drift further apart. Without the unifying force of their father, tensions that had long simmered under the surface began to erupt more frequently. Old wounds resurfaced, and unresolved conflicts grew harder to ignore. Many fans who once admired the tight-knit dynamic of the Browns were shocked to see the family unravel. The bond that once seemed so genuine was now exposed as fragile, perhaps even performative. Some of the children tried to carry on Billy's vision. Noah, despite his troubled personal life, made efforts to keep the family values alive. He returned to Alaska, even though it meant leaving his kids behind. He hoped to rebuild something stable from the ashes of what once was. But the family's internal rift and public controversies continued to shadow every attempt at a fresh start. Raindrop Brown, still under fire for her alleged behavior and history with substance abuse, became one of the most divisive figures in the family. Fans who once adored her youthful innocence and spirit were now split between support and criticism. Her strained relationship with Noah was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. With the media speculating about feuds, secret arrests, and private betrayals, it became difficult to separate truth from tabloid. Meanwhile, Matt Brown, the eldest son, remained distant from the rest of the family. His accusations against Billy, that he introduced him to substances and manipulated parts of the show, left a permanent stain on the family's image. Matt had also battled with personal demons, often publicly. His decision to walk away from the series opened up further speculation about the authenticity of the Browns' lifestyle. As the family struggled privately, they also lost their public platform. Discovery Channel, once their greatest ally, wanted no part in further controversy. With the legal case against the estate threatening to spill into a media circus, the network cut ties. Suddenly, the Browns were no longer stars. They were ordinary people grappling with extraordinary pressure. Financial stress added to their burden. Without the income from the show, many of them had to find new ways to make a living. Noah and Gabe attempted to leverage their fame into other ventures, but without consistent exposure, most of their efforts fell flat. Some family members retreated completely from public life, while others tried to stay relevant through social media. The lawsuit with Robert Mann remained a dark cloud. He claimed he had been cut out of deals, and that Billy had manipulated financial agreements behind closed doors. The accusations weren't just damaging, they were detailed. Mann presented documents and communications that suggested Billy may have owed him significant money. If true, it meant the Brown family fortune wasn't just at risk, it might never have been theirs to begin with. This legal fight also meant Discovery Channel was pulled into the drama. Mann's legal team demanded access to contracts, payment records, and communications that could reveal how much money had actually flowed to the Browns and how much had been hidden. Discovery, fearing reputational damage and possible legal exposure, distanced itself. They not only stopped producing the show, but also stopped marketing reruns. What once was a celebration of off-the-grid living had turned into a cautionary tale about fame, fiction, and fractured families. Fans began to question everything they had once loved. Was Browntown ever real? Were those emotional moments genuine? Did Billy Brown actually believe in the rugged lifestyle he preached, or was it all for show? In the end, the story of Billy Brown and Alaskan bush people became one of contrasts. A man who once inspired millions was later revealed to be deeply flawed. A family that symbolized unity was, in reality, divided. A show that once felt pure and unscripted became another reminder that reality TV is often anything but real. Still, many fans hold on to the good moments. They remember Billy's infectious enthusiasm, the children's adventures, the triumphs over wild terrain. They choose to believe that even if it wasn't always authentic, the spirit behind it was. They hope the Browns find healing, and maybe, just maybe, they'll return, not as characters on a show, but as real people who learned from their past and are ready to write a more honest future.